Hey guys, welcome back. So of course we are sending in some more items to the PSA. I can't legitimately just say all cards, just as you know we've been adding some things that aren't cards to our little packs that we send into the PSA. Granted, we're building up things of orders of 100 plus when we send into the PSA just to try and save it on shipping and stuff. And granted, yes, it does make things a little bit more riskier with what we mail in. We have a higher chance of losing a whole box of like 100 plus items at once. Where the risk, just try and insure it and work around it. Now, of course, one of the items that we are starting with is a coin. This is a Mew coin, and yes, you can get coins graded, or at least I know by the PSA you can. And they will put them in a little case and that holds them still and steady. Now, the issue that I have with this coin is, of course, there is some marking on the face of this Mew, so that definitely brings it down. However, we don't know how far it brings it down because the PSA really doesn't have a grading scale for coins. Now the back is pretty much in pretty good condition. It's just really that front mark, and it wasn't something I had rub off. I tried. Still an interesting coin, decent little coin. I do wish there wasn't that mark on the face, and I'm not certain what caused it or how it became. Now, because we're not certain and it just isn't in perfect condition, we're going to go ahead and actually lowball this one because it's just such an upfront mark. And there's actually not a lot to work with for a coin. So we're going to go ahead and just say PSA 6. Hopefully it comes back higher. We really don't know. I know that one's really short in terms of what we're looking at. We didn't really spend a lot of time, but granted for the coins, we really don't have a strong evaluation. We've never seen one in person. I've seen graded coins on the internet, and I've read on the PSA's website that they will grade coins, and even specifically Pokemon coins, but you just never know. Now, of course, we're doing the usual Mankey sticker, or at least this will be the usual for a little bit. We have several of these to send in. We do have another one of these, I believe, as part of the 1,000 sub giveaway, but that is what it is. Now, granted, we'll go ahead and we'll zoom in. Everything on the front looks fine. So the front looks like it could receive a 10. Don't know why it wouldn't. Looks super solid. And then if we go to the back, now there is some edge wear and stuff on the back. I just don't know how hard they're grading on the back for this, because really the main point of this item is the sticker itself, the front. But if you take into account some whiting, we're still going to say 9 to 10. We just don't know how hard they're going to grade against the whiting on the back, because it's just not a card. It's really not the same things you grade against. The front is really the main thing. That's pretty primo. Now, I know some of you might be like, well, I mean, the front of a card is what they grade against, but no, they really focus really hard on the back of cards just as much as the front. Me and several other Pokemon enthusiasts would argue that really it's just the front that we care about, but whatever. Now moving into Artbox Premier Edition snapshots. And the only thing that really kind of is a bummer about this one is as far as I'm aware, most premieres will go from the base Pokemon all the way up to Final Evolution, but for Charmander, they were smart. They made these after the cards, not too much longer, but they made them after the cards. They saw Charizard had a huge popularity, so they went ahead and made it to where Charmander only evolves into Charmeleon on this. In order to get Charizard, you have to get him on Series 1, so it made people collect the other series as well. Series 1 came before Premier Edition. This is Premier Edition. Front looks great, and back looks super solid. Some stuff here and there, but I really don't see what they would really grade against too much. When we talk, like there's sort of like this sort of smearing sort of effect that we don't really know if they're going to grade against us or not. And every now and then there's some threads that pop off, but really pretty much 99% of our art box series have been pack pulls by us, so there's really no reason why they shouldn't at least score at a 9. But because we don't understand what they're grading against specifically, besides maybe some bordering and centering, we're just going to have to say 9 through 10 and hope for the best. I have never seen a little art box series without like the smears on it, so I'm interested to see if this didn't come back at 10, what exactly qualifies as a 10. Now that one really wasn't perfect, but it was in super strong shape, super good shape. Again, another one. So we have several of these in this stack of items. We'll eventually get into the cards, and the cards are pretty good if you couldn't read what they are on the paper while I was going through things. So we have a Ghastly. So look, Ghastly goes to Haunter. Oh, so I guess from here they don't go up to their final. So it just goes up to Ghastly and Haunter. I think some of them go up to their final, or maybe I'm making the confusion. I think for Series 1, they will actually go from their base all the way up to their final evolution. Centering looks fine. There is some corner damage. This one's more of just a 9 because of this corner up here. So we'll go ahead and write 9 for this one. Now it does seem like I'm going pretty fast through these, and I'm not trying to do it purposely. I just I don't think they're necessarily as great to look at as the cards themselves. I just think they're, you know, real quick little thing to remind yourself of and get graded, and you can get them graded, and some of them do go for good money. So if you have them laying around, or if you have some unopened packs, I might suggest you go ahead and open them and get them graded, or you can wait, keep them sealed, and see how these come back. Now this is nice because Pikachu just can only evolve into Raichu, so the only thing I don't like, and maybe I just remember it better as a kid, but you used to be able to see the final evolution a lot better. Really on these lately that I've opened, we only really see one of the Pokemon better, and on this one it's Pikachu. It's very, you know, nothing crazy, nothing nuts. It's not the fat Pikachu, which is fine. Centering looks fine. It's a little thicker on the right than the left, and also a little bit thicker on the bottom. So it'll probably lose points for centering. We'll say 8 to 9. Just we're not quite certain how hard they're going to grade. Really, there's not much to grade on these, so maybe they'll grade really hard against the centering. And it looks like there's some sort of little stain. Lovely, even though this was, I believe, a pack pull by me. You can see it on the K right there, in my super dirty thumbnail. Wow, we're only at 3.4 zoom. We can actually take this even further. This is 7 times zoom. Looks like it's an ink, I think an ink over like an actual stain, but there's really nothing I can do about it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slip this in, get these put away. I think if I had more card savers, I'd probably use my card savers for my Premier action flips as well. However, they work perfectly fine in top loaders. I really enjoy top loaders. I'm not really a fan of card savers. I've said that multiple times throughout this channel. See, now we got like one of these threads, but you can just pull it right off. Clean some stuff up. So yeah, I'm not quite certain what they're going to do. Starting on this one, looks like it's going to be pretty solid. Krabby to Kingler. Granted, too, it looks like they've had constant issues, or at least this print run that I've been doing, to where it says the evolution's name and shows the other of the Pokemon. So very interesting. Some damage to the corner is what it looks like. Really sucks as it's a pack ball. The damage is actually fairly significant. As I said, they don't have a lot to grade off of, so I presume they go really hard on other things. So we're actually going to say 7 to 9 for this one. 9's probably high, but honestly, we really still don't know what they're looking for when it comes to these. And it is what it is because of that. So we'll go ahead and pack that away. Okay, now moving on to the cards. I think people are really interested in. I enjoy the cards more than those. I just, go ahead and do those as we're preparing our PSA submissions. So we got ourselves looks like it's a really nice base set Zapdos. Centering, the border's thick up at the top. It's actually decently thick on the bottom too, so it's pretty much even centering left to right, top to bottom. Looks like it, fairly we'll see if there's any misprints. I'm not seeing any. So if you don't know, I am taking my time a little bit more for these send-ins. The card looks like to be in really fantastic condition. That's really good. We're gonna check the back. Back is looking solid. We're looking possible 10 territory with this one. That's super solid. I don't see why it couldn't get a 9, and I definitely see 10 in the possibility realm. So we're going to say 9 to 10, and we're feeling super solid about the 9 and pretty confident about the 10. This is at 2.6 zoom, trying not to stretch out the hollow foil. It looks really solid. It's a really solid submission that makes us happy. Come on. That's just dirt, it's coming off. The only issue is it's right on the hollow foil, and I don't want to scratch off any hollow foil. If I really wanted to, I could micro zoom on that and get like a magnifying glass and use some small crafting tools or whatever as I have them, and I could focus on those individual stains that come off and really just nitpick at them. But you know, I just don't really see a huge point. Now this is what I'm talking about in terms of what to expect. So I like this because there's quite a few dark Pokemon in this stack, and I really like dark Pokemon, especially like the original dark Pokemon. And you can really appreciate some of the harder to see hollow foils when it looks like we have a bleed on the foot. Let me see if I can. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just so close it looks like a bleed. So we'll zoom out to 2.4. You can see there's some minor scratches / print lines in the hollow foil, but really the card overall is pretty solid. There's some stains up top. Nothing too big of a deal. I mean, I've enjoyed Dark Alakazam. Definitely a cool card. It would be nice if just his holographic stood out just a little bit more. I know what they were going for, but whatever. Checking for any sort of misprints we might miss. The rest of the card looks solid, and the centering looks pretty much even. Fingers crossed that the back is in really good condition. Let's see. Yeah, so the back is in super solid condition. That's really fantastic. Now there is some chip here, which is pretty evident. I'm going to do a 2 grade, so I'll do 8 to 10. Obviously 10 probably isn't going to happen. I don't see why we couldn't get 8, which is still a pretty solid grade. Now granted, prices are kind of falling for Pokemon cards right now, but you know, they're expected to eventually go back up, so it's just a matter of holding. Not a huge deal. So we've got Dark Trio, which anytime I looked at this card, I just assumed it was an Earth environment. When I finally looked at it closer, this Trio is breaking into someone's bedroom. You can see a bed, some knocked over lamps. You can see them breaking through the wood floor. Like, I don't think they make a non-hollow version of this card. Maybe they do. I think probably it's definitely way more apparent. The hollow foil actually makes it really hard. You have to hold it just right to see a lot clearer what's going on. And really, as I said, when you're just glancing over it, you don't even really notice it. So let's see what we can see. Left to right's fine. Bottom is a little bit thicker than the top, but not a huge deal. The hollow foil looks to be in really good condition, which is, to me, really important, but I guess to graders, not so much. I think this is going to be important. Let me check something. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. There's some cards that I don't know if it makes them more valuable or less valuable if it says the 1999 through 2000. I think that really only applies to base set. I don't think it applies to Team Rocket cards or Dark cards. I just remember when Dark cards came out, it was such a different thing for back then. Did we already check the back? Let's check. I don't think we did. Nothing too crazy, just some edge wear, less whitening than most. I think it's definitely a 9. I'll say up to 10 as well. 10, again, I'm not super confident, but I don't see why it couldn't get a 10, so to speak. Those aren't scratches, that's actually the action of, like, that's the action lines of the trio breaking through the ground. That'd be awesome to get that card in 10. I mean, it's nice to get 10s, but really just there's some cards that, like, would just be awesome to get in a 10. So another dark card, Dark Hypno. And for me, at least with the background, I think it's really funny. It just reminds me so much of a Yu-Gi-Oh! how they always had like those ancient sort of Egyptian eyes going on in Yu-Gi-Oh. Moving on, left to right looks fine. Top's a little bit thicker than bottom. Super minor scratches, like super minor. We only, are probably noticing it because of my stream zoom and focus on it. Everything else looks to be in order. Not seeing any crazy or obvious misprints. Let's check the back. Super minor whitening. Centering still good on the back. Actually, probably a little bit better on the back than the front. And some minor whitening. I'm going to say 8 to 10 again. Granted, I know that the whitening is still apparent. It's just, man, it's such a well-kept card for that one being so old. The original Dark series, the original Team Rocket series, still fairly old card. So to me, it's impressive the shape that was in. Moving into next. This is a Japanese Meganinium from Neo Genesis. This is the promo series, or at least the series that comes in that binder for Neo Genesis. Wow, perfect. Hopefully centering looks to be near perfect. It's a little off, but you really want to get these at a 10. I mean, their value has come up, thank goodness. Can't see if there's any misprints. I can't read Japanese. Tracking, there's no rarity symbol, but that's called a premium file, as these came in that notebook, and those just didn't come with a rarity symbol, so it really doesn't change the price at all. Centering is, I mean, it's slightly off. Like, I notice it, but like it's not crazy. I'm gonna rate 10. I don't see why this couldn't get a 10. I mean, even PSA says, they still allow for flaws for a 10. They just have to be super minor, and really that centering seems super minor. So I'm just going to say 10. I think I pulled that out of an open sealed notebook that it comes in. So now I'll move into ground Scyther, Kabutops, Fossil. All foil looks to seem to be in super solid condition. I'm seeing some silvering or like some upraise. Centering's a little off left to right. It's definitely thicker on the right. Top to bottom, both thick, but pretty much the same. Not seeing any misprints. Not seeing anything too nuts. Just good. Just really thick border to the right. And super minor scratches. Centering thick to the left, but it's just the opposite of the card. Top to bottom is fine, and whiting is almost not apparent. Just a little bit there on the edge. Wow, it's I bet you that will that come off? Is that a separate strand standing up, or is that I don't think it's a separate strand. I think that's, if I continue to peel that, I'll just make it worse. It's like a zit, you just gotta pop it. Oh well. I mean, the card still looks to be in really fantastic condition, but I know they grade really hard on the centering, and there is some minor whitening. That is an issue. Because of that, we have to guess 6 to 8, and it's not our favorite having to guess below an 8. It's really not our favorite to put ourselves in a situation below a 7. We would like an 8 or above for sure. I mean, to me, the card's in really good condition. The centering's just off. I don't think that's fair when they make that a factor, just simply because you're not in control of that. Now, moving in from that one into just a really nice fossil version, Japanese version of the fossil one. Definitely looks even a little bit better. Still, centering's a little off. Not as much, though. Card, just really good condition. Really just appreciating it. The hollow foil. It's so nice to do that and get that sort of near mirror reflection back. That's really nice. As I said, centering's a little off. I wouldn't say it's nuts. Back looks super solid. It's really good. 10's probably high. Don't see why it can't get a 9, so we are going to say 9 to 10. This is just a super solid card. 9 to 10. Make sure you're guessing your grades, folks, in the comments of the video. I know Cameron Cooper does guessing the grades a lot, and Vintage Pokemon Hunter Brothers guesses the grades. The only issue that we just have is how long it takes to get grades back. Right now, PSA still isn't accepting anybody. I almost want to have a discussion in a video with Vintage Pokemon Hunter Brothers about the PSA. So it looks like there's some uplift on this corner. Now this is a no rarity symbol. Sabrina's Alakazam, which is awesome. And the holo foil is just, once again, pretty much mirror finish. Fantastic. Everything looks good except for this minor like corner wear. We'll see how the back is. Oh, so there is some whitening on the back. Actually, a little bit more than I would have expected with how the front was. The front was just very beautiful. The card is in generally really good shape. There's only whitening on this side here, nothing on this side. Everything super solid. Whitening makes it hard. I kind of have an idea of what it's going to get. It really sucks that the card itself, in my opinion, is just in really good condition. So we're going to say 7 to 9. I know it can't get a 10. The whitening's just too apparent. But I think the rest of the card's just in such fantastic condition. Another really good card as far as I'm aware of. First edition Gengar. Non-holo would be fantastic to have had this in holo, but it's really not a huge deal. Centering looks super solid. Everything else looks to be super solid. Just seeing if we see any misprints. And even still, like I feel as though I'm going too fast for misprints. I wish my younger self was here who would just deliberately just focus hard on the card itself. Wow, he is, I think he's taller than Kabutops. Yeah, Kabutops is supposed to be 4'3", and Gengar is 4'11". That's hilarious to me. They both have the same weight. Granted, really, since Gengar is a ghost Pokemon, he shouldn't have any weight, but it's whatever. They definitely made things sooner than they meant to for Pokemon, or they just didn't put a lot of super heavy thought into it. Really, it's super minor stuff. I think just, I'll say 8 to 9. I want to say just flat 9, but you know what? I am just going to say flat 9 and see what we get. And that's why we're just, we're keeping these paper records for reference back to help us with seeing if anyone guessed the grades right during this iteration. A little bit of a throw off. We were doing so many vintage cards. Now we're on to shiny Charmander. I don't mind the shiny sets, or the shiny Pokemon I do. It's pretty decent, not too overdone, a little interesting. Border on this one seems pretty fine. I will admit, all the cards that have SV code, these shiny vault cards, they seem to always have some sort of edging issue or something. Centering is a little off. It's nothing nuts. The back has better centering. I'm gonna say 9 to 10. I don't see why it really couldn't get a 10 besides some centering. And then some sort of weird edging thing going on, but still don't know why it couldn't get that. So we'll say 9 to 10. Then we got another shiny card. This was probably when me and my buddies used to play Super Smash Bros. Brawl together. This was probably his favorite character to pick, and he would beat us pretty bad with him. Now I do see like a little indent in the roller marks. I wonder how hard they grade against it. Just because it's not as apparent with how this card is, you know, made and designed. It has this texture feel to it, which I think the texture feel is cool. Definitely for people who play because and centering is off left to right for sure. Top to bottom's fine. Left to right definitely off. It's more apparent when they put that black border on there. Then we got this little dot. Now, I've seen PSA grade super heavily for dots like that. I'm almost tempted to just call it and send it to, it's much more apparent like that in the light. I'm almost willing to call it and just send it to CGC. I just don't know how hard. Like everything else is really, really great, and that dot is really small. And it's like an indent dot. So I don't know how hard they'll grade against that. I think we'll still send it to PSA. Our guess for as is, we'll say 7 to 8. I don't think it's asking for too much. I think it's definitely a very strong 7 and a fairly solid 8. It's just our opinion. Our opinion and the PSA's opinion has varied wildly in the past. Now back to some vintage stuff. We have a fossil hollow Raichu. Now this one may have to be sent to CGC. Let's see. I had a quick glance at it while I was getting it ready. So I guess what I saw was mainly damage to the top loader, not the card, which is good. Minor scratches, which is great for how old this card is. Everything looks pretty solid. Yeah, everything looks pretty solid all around. Some sort of a corner neck. Looking for misprints. Everything looks solid. Oh yeah, look, everything looks solid for no misprints. Back does have a slightly uplifted corner. That's going to be a ding. And some whitening. I think just a flat 7. That corner lift does suck. Otherwise, I definitely guess 8 to 9. I wanted to say flat 7. And that's just because I know how hard they grade on small stuff like that. So flat 7. Oh, we got 2 cards left, and I don't think we're actually going to send anything to the CGC for this set, so that's good. So everyone can guess their grades. I think they probably do make a hollow version of this card. I just don't think I've ever seen it. So we've got Sabrina's Gengar, no rarity symbol, with the moon in the bag. Yeah, no, I think they do make this in hollow. I think I have seen it. Centering looks fine. Everything else seems to be super great. Some sort of like edge wear lift over here, which to me is more typical with the Japanese cards. They just are a little bit more flexible and lighter, and they just seem like they'd be more at risk to certain damages than the English cards. I mean, they just didn't use a whole different material. They didn't just use like a different card pattern and design. They used a whole different material. The centering is kind of hard to place where I would think it is. I don't think it's too nuts though. I'm gonna say 9 to 10. I mean, it's a super solid card, and it's no rarity symbol, which is fantastic. There's only a few things that would make it better if it was first edition, hollow, and English. Technically, it's first edition because they consider no symbol first edition. So I just put 10 for it. We'll go over that real quick as a small review when we recap the video. And then wrapping up with who I think probably had a majority of the cards in her name on this video. Sabrina the trainer herself. Hollow. Good centering. Hollow foil looks really nice. I'm seeing almost like some, yeah, okay, like some sort of stain slash dirt. Came right off, fantastic. No rarity symbol, so nice. And such minor whitening. Oh, there we go. That's a decent bit of damage. At least the PSA consider, yeah, the PSA will consider that a decent bit of damage. So this just went from 9 to 10 possibility straight down to 6, hoping for 8. That really sucks a lot. So we're going to 6 to 8, mainly just because of this right here. And who knows how it happened? Who knows if it was has been in the possession of me? If it was like that when I got it? Who knows? That's rough. So we will go ahead and write 6 to 8 for that Sabrina. So we'll go ahead and zoom out. So here are our grades. We'll just recap real quick. The Mew coin, we're expecting PSA 6. The Artbox Studio Mankey sticker, 9 through 10. Artbox Premiere flips. This was a Charmander, 9 through 10. The Ghastly one of that, a 9. The Pikachu one, 8 to 9. The Krabby, 7 to 9. Got into base Zapdos Hollow, PSA 9 to 10. Dark Alakazam, a Hollow, 8 through 10. Dark Trio, 9 through 10. Dark Hypno, 9 through 10. First edition, no, not first edition. Japanese Neo Genesis Meganium Premium File, 10. Fossil English Hollow Kabutops, 6 of 8. Japanese Fossil Kabutops Hollow, 9 of 10. Japanese Sabrina's Alakazam Hollow, 7 to 9. First edition Fossil Gengar non-hollow, 9. Shiny Charmander Shiny Vault Series Hollow, 9 through 10. GX Lucario Shiny Vault Series Hollow, 7 through 8. Fossil Raichu Hollow, 7. Japanese Sabrina's Gengar no rarity symbol non-hollow, 10. And Sabrina herself, 6 to 8. And even, I mean, that dent was so heavy. 6 may be out of realm, to be honest, which is rough. It may have to be resent to CGC. We're going to send it to PSA first and see what happens. As long as we can get our submissions on time. PSA did extend their submission times, for at least for me with mine, up till September 17th. But I've been checking daily on their clear through dates, and I have not seen their clear through dates move for a while. I mean, even their walkthrough dates were stuck at like 23 February. And their walkthrough dates is like their most expensive service. It's like you're supposed to show up, you give them the card, and before you even leave the building, they return your card graded. So even that is just so many months behind. I guess since you've watched this far, we'll go ahead and do 1-page sneak peek of the 1,000 sub giveaway. Help us please reach 1,000 subs. So you can see some stuff. It's like the one sheet of, I'll go ahead and tell you, stickers is blocking you from seeing the rest on those pages. There are some hollows in that book, and some other rares that are not hollows. So help us reach 1,000 subs to hopefully win that. And hopefully by the time this video is dropped, we'll have already completed our 200 sub giveaway, but we'll see. Other than that, thanks for watching. Everyone have a great day. Bye.